Hi friend, I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about HR and whether you should trust them to help you. What does HR stand for? HR stands for Human Resources. So you're not a human being, you're a human resource. You're a tool to achieve an end goal. If it ever seems like HR cares about you or is doing something nice for you, know that their ulterior motive is to use you for the company's benefit and to avoid legal issues. It's basic manipulation. So the answer on whether you should trust HR is in their name, which is Human Resources. How does that make you feel? Not good, I'm guessing. I've heard some people say that HR stands for Hopeless Resources. What do you think? I guess that's based on people's experience when dealing with HR. I admit, in the early days as an employee, I was naive. I thought you can trust management and HR. I thought HR was like the police. HR is not a police department. They're not there to play judge and jury. They're just workers like you and me. If there's a conflict between workers or between you and your boss, HR is going to do what's right for the company, not the victim. If the conflict's between you and your boss, they will side with your boss because your boss represents the company and they're there to protect the company from liability. HR will usually get rid of the victim, especially if he or she is lower down on the hierarchy. I've heard of stories about people who complained to HR about harassment. The end result was that HR did nothing and the victim ended up resigning. HR brainwashed me to think I could trust them. So how did HR do this? They did this by sharing their values. Values are usually something that describes who a person is or who an organisation is, what they stand for and what they stand against. Typical company values are integrity, honesty, respect, teamwork, trust, etc. Also, companies have a code of conduct which stipulates how they will behave and how they expect employees to behave. For example, they will not tolerate bad behaviour like bullying. Well, over time, I found out the truth that those were all lies. My advice is to judge a tree by the fruit it bears. In other words, don't trust people's words, only trust their actions. Many workers think that HR is a safe place to go with workplace grievances, but unfortunately nothing could be further from the truth. HR is there to protect the company and not you, and it will protect the company by sabotaging you the second you make a complaint. Let me share with you a couple of stories. You probably heard the saying that you don't remember what someone said, but you remember how they made you feel. Well, this happened to me. Many years ago, I raised something with HR, and I admit I can't even remember what it was about, but I definitely remember how they made me feel. We had a meeting, and they were being very casual, and they were waffling on about something totally irrelevant to the matter I raised. They gave the impression that they were going to look into the matter, and that they'll get back to me. I never heard back. Another time, I rang HR and said to them that I believe my manager's not following the HR policy and process. And I was surprised. They didn't want to know about it. They basically said, well, that's between you and your boss. I mean, how ridiculous is that? That basically validates the hopeless resources definition that I mentioned before, that a lot of people believe HR stands for. So from my experience and from hearing other people's experiences, you cannot trust HR. Also, the HR open door policy is a trap. HR will not keep your complaint confidential because legally they don't have to. If they tell you they're going to keep it confidential, know that they're lying. They will share the complaint with your boss, even if your boss is the one that you're complaining about, or they'll share it with other people who you're complaining about. Then they'll try and figure out how to protect the company. And if that means squashing and discrediting you, so be it. HR sees you and your complaint as an attack on the company. As soon as you make a complaint, they put a target on your back. You become a threat and they need to suppress you. If they do an investigation, it's not going to be what you think. It's going to be an unfair investigation. It seems like they only investigate how to protect the company and not resolve the issue. They will investigate and call a meeting with you to find out how they can protect the company. They will investigate and call a meeting with you to find ways to protect the company so the company is not liable. It's not to find evidence to support your case, it's to find evidence to destroy your case and protect the company. They may go so far to say and conclude that there was no wrongdoing and that you're the problem. It's sad but true. And guess what? Later, when the matter is forgotten, HR may go as far as working with your manager to write you up as a bad employee, saying that your performance isn't up to scratch. They will probably put you on a PIP, a performance improvement plan, and push you out the door or fire you. They would even go so far to falsify documentation so they can build a case for your termination and use that false documentation to protect themselves in case you decide to sue them. It's pure evil. Know that in your write-up, HR doesn't have to be truthful. It's not a legal requirement. Even though it's ironic that most company policies is that any documentation has to be truthful, but I guess that only applies to employees. If they ask you to sign the write-up and you don't agree with it, I suggest you write, "I acknowledge receiving a copy." So you're signing to say that you received a copy, but you're not signing to say that you agree with it. Simply put, HR will lie to protect the company. Think about it. They're being paid by the company and their job is to protect the company and not you. They also don't send you anything in writing because they don't want any records in case you decide to sue them. HR is definitely not your friend. Not unless you like friends who are fake, lie and backstabbers. So I suggest thinking twice before complaining. If you do decide to complain, make sure that you have a solid case with written evidence, with reliable, courageous and trustworthy witnesses. Remember, most co-workers won't be prepared to stand up and defend you because of the possibility that they may be the next target and be fired. Also, make sure that you print every email and keep a copy at home because they can delete records. Before making a complaint, check your case with your lawyer or union representative. If he's not a member of the union, I suggest you join one. And if you do have an issue big enough that you're thinking of taking it to HR, I suggest first talking to your lawyer. Ask your lawyer to write to HR. Once the company knows that you've got enough money to have a lawyer, then they'll think twice about turning on you and making you the problem. However, if you can't afford a lawyer, instead of going to HR, I suggest putting that energy into finding a new job. HR will not solve your problems. They'll make you the problem and they will actively work towards making you go away. Also, keep in mind that HR do not necessarily understand employment law. They can be incompetent and that can be to your advantage. Also, company policies are written up to protect the company. So they're written where they shift responsibility from the employer to the employee. They want to limit the company's liability. HR is not on your side at all. You become an enemy as soon as you contact HR, no matter how unfair you are being treated at work. I heard of someone who filed a retaliation complaint with HR. HR started an investigation and a week into the investigation, the person got fired for performance issues. So tell me, what do you think of HR? Do you trust them? What has been your experience? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, I want to thank you for your support and encouragement. I really appreciate you. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel and you're interested in career-related content direct from someone who has over 45 years of working experience, from employee to employer to business owner, and who is a certified workplace coach and has coached people for over 10 years to help them take charge of their life and career and improve it, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. You also want to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked or got some value from this video, please do give it a thumbs up so it can reach and help other people. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, or if you have any questions, or if you got any suggestions for a future video. And if you know someone who needs to see this video, please do share it. Till next time, take care.